My dear friends, have you ever felt the relentless weight of a world determined to be managed solely by your own strength? We've all been there, that deep, weary sigh when we realize our efforts aren't enough. I recall a moving story of a woman beside her son's hospital bed. The machines hummed, his life hanging by a thread. Every prayer, every plea, every bargain poured from her like a flood. Yet, the tighter she clung to control, the more peace slipped through her fingers. Wasn't until she collapsed to her knees, not in desperation, but in profound surrender, whispering, "God, I cannot carry this anymore. You take it," that the miracle began, not in the machines, but in her heart. The storm didn't instantly vanish, but her soul found an unshakable stillness in its eye. This teaches us a timeless lesson. Our greatest strength lies not in clinging, but in letting go. This recognition isn't defeat. It's the first step toward a greater victory. This profound act of letting go, of acknowledging our human limits, ushers us into a new realm of understanding. It paves the way for a greater power to work, revealing where true strength resides. My friends, there arrives a pivotal, life-altering moment in every life when you must, with courage and conviction, release your tightly clenched grip. This pivotal act isn't about giving up in weakness. Rather, it is about a profound and liberating recognition. The deep, soul-stirring understanding that it is finally, truly time to invite God in His infinite wisdom and boundless power. For so long, many of us have painstakingly carried burdens that were never, ever intended for our finite shoulders. We have tirelessly and often exhaustingly attempted to fix, to mend, and to control what only heaven, in its perfect design, can fully redeem and transform. And let's be honest, in the quiet solitude of our thoughts, the answer is a resounding yes. It is utterly exhausting, isn't it? Perhaps you've known those long, solitary nights, lying awake, your thoughts relentlessly pounding like war drums in the confines of your mind, each beat echoing a fear or an unresolved problem. Your heart races, a frantic, unsettling rhythm of anxiety and apprehension, and your very soul staggers under the immense, crushing weight of endless what-ifs and the daunting uncertainty of what now. But here is the magnificent truth, a promise woven into the fabric of creation. God never, not once, asked you to carry it all alone. He never told you, in His boundless wisdom, to meticulously figure it all out by yourself. In fact, He declared the very opposite with unwavering clarity. In the timeless wisdom of Proverbs 3:5-6, the sacred word gently reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight." Yet, how tragically often do we, in our human frailty, trust Him with only a small, partial piece of our heart, holding back the rest, convinced we know better? How frequently do we find ourselves leaning heavily into our fears, allowing them to dominate our thoughts and dictate our actions, rather than firmly anchoring ourselves in His unchanging, unwavering promises? We profess belief with our lips, yet paradoxically, we white-knuckle the steering wheel of our lives with such desperate, determined hands, clinging to the fragile illusion of control, believing that our strength, our ingenuity, our ceaseless effort is the ultimate determinant of our destiny. But beloved, there is a holy, audacious, and utterly transformative power embedded within the very act of surrender. I'm not speaking of a weak resignation, a passive giving up in defeat. No, absolutely not. I am speaking of the fiery, faithful, and fiercely courageous kind of surrender. The kind that, with an unyielding spirit, storms the very gates of heaven and with unshakable conviction declares, "Lord, I place every single fragment of my life, every hope, every fear, every This profound act is not a demonstration of weakness. On the contrary, it is the purest, most powerful form of worship. This is the sacred ground where long-held chains of anxiety, fear, and striving begin to shatter and crumble into dust. This is where an overwhelming, life-giving peace, like a mighty, cleansing flood, begins to surge and fill every void within your soul. This is the precise moment when you cease your exhausting efforts to control the uncontrollable, and with newfound freedom, begin to fully and completely trust the one who, from eternity past, sees the end from the very beginning, guiding every step with perfect wisdom and unwavering love. His sovereign plan unfolds perfectly. For as Isaiah 41:10 declares, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That mighty hand which stretched the heavens and calmed the sea, that hand reaches for you in your deepest pain and most overwhelming struggle. But you must release your grip to truly grasp his. When the whispers of doubt try to take root, it's crucial to remember that our God is not a God of forgetting, but of faithful remembrance. His truth stands firm against every lie, guiding us toward an unshakable hope. Dear ones, as we continue on this journey of understanding divine trust, it becomes exquisitely clear that we are not the saviors of our own stories. This fundamental truth, if fully embraced, is liberating beyond measure. We are not the ones meant to bear the ultimate weight, to orchestrate every outcome, or to rescue every situation. The very notion that we must shoulder such immense responsibility is, quite frankly, a devastating lie whispered from the pit of hell itself. It's a subtle but insidious deception designed to keep us perpetually exhausted, bound by anxiety, and isolated in our struggles. You, my beloved friend, are not the Savior. You are the one who is saved. You are not the potter meticulously molding the clay. You are the precious clay being lovingly shaped by the Master's hand. You are not the shepherd guiding the flock. You are the cherished sheep under the watchful, compassionate care of the Good Shepherd. And oh, what a profound comfort that truth brings! For the shepherd, in his infinite wisdom and perfect love, knows precisely how to lead you through every winding path, how to guard you fiercely from every unseen danger, and how to fight victoriously on your behalf against every adversary. His protective instincts are absolute, his guidance flawless. The sacred scriptures beautifully articulate this divine invitation in Psalm 55:22. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. This isn't just poetic verse. It's a powerful, actionable command. But let's be profoundly clear. Casting your cares is not some soft, gentle, or merely poetic moment. The original Hebrew word used here is shalak, and it carries an incredibly powerful, active meaning. It means to hurl with force, to fling violently, to throw off what is crushing you with a mighty, decisive action, and to place it, completely and irrevocably, into the capable hands of the one who can not only carry it, but transform it. So, with every ounce of faith you can muster, throw it down. Hurl down that debilitating fear that has relentlessly plagued your mind and heart. Fling away that daunting diagnosis that threatens to steal your hope. Cast off the excruciating heartbreak that has left you shattered, and the searing pain of betrayal that has left its deep scars. Release the haunting grip of the past, with all its regrets and mistakes. Throw it all, every single burden, every single worry, every single broken piece at his nail-pierced feet. You were never ever made to carry that oppressive, soul-crushing yoke of self-reliance. Jesus, in his tender mercy and profound understanding of our human limitations, extends the most liberating invitation in Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for my yoke is easy and my burden. So many of you listening right now in the quiet depths of your soul are at the very edge. You've prayed fervently, poured out your heart, yet you haven't seen the results you desperately longed for. You've cried countless tears, hoping for relief, yet the solace has not come. You've waited patiently, perhaps for what feels like an eternity, and nothing, absolutely nothing, has seemingly changed. And in those moments of profound despair and weariness, the enemy, that master of deception, whispers his insidious lies into your ear, attempting to convince you God has utterly forgotten you. But let me declare this truth with every fiber of my being. The devil, that ancient adversary, is a liar. He has always been a deceiver, twisting truth into falsehood, manipulating pain into doubt. He will tirelessly attempt to warp your deepest pain into the most insidious falsehoods, if only you permit him to do so. But hear me with unwavering clarity, this profound, life-altering truth. God does not and cannot forget what he himself has so lovingly formed. He does not, will never abandon what he has cherished and loved with an eternal, unchanging affection. The prophet Isaiah, speaking under divine inspiration, poses a poignant question in Isaiah 49. Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has born? Though she may forget, I will not forget. This is God's solemn, unbreakable promise to you, etched into the very fabric of eternity. His commitment is deeper, more profound, and more enduring than any earthly bond. This deep understanding of resting in God's presence, even amidst the storms, empowers us to shift our focus from human solutions to divine possibilities. What would truly happen, I ask you, if today, this very moment, you consciously chose to stop striving, to cease the relentless pushing, the exhaustive trying, the endless self-reliance, and instead, you bravely and confidently started trusting him with every single facet of your life? What transformative shift would occur if you dared to turn your paralyzing panic into powerful, resonant praise, lifting your voice in gratitude even amidst the storm? What if, instead of meticulously rehearsing the worst-case scenarios, allowing fear to paint the bleakest pictures in your mind, you began, with intentionality and unwavering conviction, to recite the glorious, life-affirming promises of God over your life, allowing his word to flood your soul with hope? Consider the bold declaration in Psalm 27:1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? And then reflect on the profound comfort found in Psalm 23:4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. My friends, these are not merely beautiful, abstract pieces of poetry. No, these are the resounding, ancient, and utterly powerful war cries of unyielding faith, echoing through time, meant to empower and sustain us. There is a deep, insidious, and frankly dangerous lie that has insidiously permeated our modern culture today. It is a subtle deception that whispers that faith, true faith, must always be logical, that God, in his infinite power, must perform miracles on our precise schedule, that he must operate strictly within the narrow confines of our human expectations and limited understanding. But let me powerfully remind you of this liberating truth. God is not confined by the human construct of time. He is not bound by the finite constraints of human logic. He is most certainly not obligated to make sense to your limited understanding. He is, however, irrevocably obligated to be faithful to himself, to his own divine nature and character. And his very name, according to Revelation 19:11, is faithful and true. This profound truth means that if he has spoken it, if he has declared it, he will absolutely do it. If he has promised it with unwavering certainty, he will fulfill it. If he has begun a work within you or your circumstances, he will, without fail, finish it to completion. But for this divine orchestration to unfold, you must consciously cease your human interference and with intentionality, begin interceding. Stop manipulating outcomes with your own strength and efforts, and instead, begin meditating on his truth, allowing his peace to permeate your being. Let God handle it. Trust him completely. Some of you, my cherished friends, are presently in the very heart of a raging, tumultuous sea, feeling utterly overwhelmed. You are rowing with every ounce of your strength, your muscles aching, desperately trying to stay afloat amidst the crashing waves, convinced that your own ceaseless efforts are the only thing keeping you from sinking into the depths. And yet, in the midst of this terrifying chaos, Jesus, in his majestic power and serene calm, is already walking toward you, not on the shore, but on the very waves that are threatening to overwhelm and drown you. You might be crying out through your fear and exhaustion, Lord, "Don't you see me? Don't you see how I am struggling? How I am suffering?" And his tender, yet powerful response echoes across the water. "I'm already on the water. I'm already on the move. My presence is with you in this very moment, even when you cannot fully perceive it." But here's the critical insight. If you persist in desperately trying to manage, to control, to fix the storm yourself, you will inevitably miss the profound miracle that he is orchestrating right within it. Remember the story of Peter? He didn't walk on water by applying human logic or by meticulously calculating the physics of the waves. He walked by pure, audacious trust in the word of Jesus. The very moment he diverted his gaze from the Savior and focused instead on the formidable wind and the turbulent waves, he began to sink into the depths of his fear and doubt. But the instant he cried out with absolute humility and raw desperation, "Lord, save me!" Jesus, in his boundless mercy, immediately caught him. This timeless narrative is a powerful beacon of hope for you today. It is not too late for your situation. Your current circumstances are not too far gone, no matter how dire they may appear. Your family, no matter how broken or fractured, is not beyond his healing touch. Your health, regardless of the daunting diagnosis, it is not beyond hope. And your heart, no matter how wounded or shattered, is absolutely not beyond his profound and miraculous healing. But for this divine intervention to unfold, you must come to the end of yourself, to the utter limit of your own capabilities. You must reach that sacred place where you cease demanding immediate answers, and with humble reverence, begin seeking God's presence above all else. You yearn for true, lasting peace. Then radical release is the answer. Crave breakthrough? Bow down before the King. Long for joy? Stop fixing what only God can heal. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. Jeremiah 17:7. Trust isn't mere belief. It's an active clinging to God when everything screams to let go. It's leaning so hard that if he didn't come through, you'd fall. You're not alone. God isn't distant or passive. He's a loving father, a fierce defender, the lover of your soul. He's saying, give it to me. Give me your sorrow, your control, your future, your fears. I carried the world at Calvary. Your burden isn't too heavy for me. You can't experience resurrection without surrender or Red Sea parting until you stop trying to swim. You can't know God's power until you relinquish your own. Drop your pride, your fear, your timelines. Lift your eyes to the hills. My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Psalm 1:1. Let God handle it. Trust him completely. You'll discover a Savior who delights in setting you free. This deep level of trust, which pleases God so profoundly, leads us to a final, compelling truth, that our journey is about more than just personal victory. You've been begging for clarity, but God whispers, you need my presence. Moses said, if your presence does not go with us, do not bring us up from here. Exodus 33:15. That's the prayer God honors. If you're not in it, Lord, I don't want it. This is where miracles bloom. Sometimes God allows storms not to destroy, but to develop us, to reveal what we truly believe. He shakes what's built on pride and fear, until all that's left is you and him. That's where true revival begins. In a heart exhausted by self-effort, declaring, Lord, I trust you more than myself. When you trust him fully, everything shifts. You stop forcing doors and wait for God-open ones. You stop manipulating people and release what's not divinely purposed. You stop living in anxiety and walk in supernatural authority. Your life isn't in fate's hands or people's hands, but in God's majestic hands, the one who sees the end from the beginning, calls dead things to life, and reigns supreme. I declare, every weapon formed against you shall not prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Not because of your strength, but because of your surrender. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Stop arguing with people, proving your worth, forcing things. Be still. Watch God be God. You've carried burdens belonging at the altar of surrender, wrestled with what needs releasing in prayer. You're exhausted because you're doing in the flesh what only God can do in the spirit. Jesus said, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened. I will give you rest. Wrestle 11, 28, 28. Come daily with everything. He promised rest, not just answers. The difference between panic and peace. Not easier lives, but knowing who holds their future. They built on Christ, not shifting sands. Their foundation holds when winds blow, because they lean on God's everlasting arms. So, my dear friends, I extend a heartfelt, powerful invitation. Make a radical, life-altering choice. Choose, with every fiber of your being, to surrender absolutely everything to the one who holds all power, all wisdom, and all love in his majestic hands. This is not a choice of weakness, but a choice of ultimate strength. Drop the heavy burdens. Release the illusion of control. Then, step boldly and confidently into the unshakable peace and boundless power that only comes when you courageously declare, God, I can't fix it myself, but I know with every fiber of my being that you can. Let him handle it. And then, watch with awe as your life becomes a living, breathing, compelling testimony to his magnificent faithfulness, a beacon of hope for all who witness it. Think about the legacy you wish to leave. Will it be one of striving and worry, or a profound peace, rooted in unwavering trust, empowered by grace? This choice is yours, moment by moment. It's in the quiet surrender of your fears, the joyful release of your burdens, and the courageous embrace of his perfect will. Your life, lived in surrender, becomes a powerful prayer, a sermon without words, impacting generations. He doesn't ask for perfection. He asks for your heart. He doesn't demand flawless performance. He desires humble trust. He doesn't need your understanding. He needs your simple, profound faith. Go forth from this moment, not burdened, but liberated. Not anxious, but at peace. Not striving, but abiding. Let your life be a resounding echo of the truth that when we say, I can't, our infinite God triumphantly declares, I can, and I will. Are you ready to truly trust him? The miracle in your life awaits your full surrender.